to Book Please podcast. It's Alina here.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
I love how when we were starting this, you're like calling me Felicia all the time.
Everyone's a Felicia to me.
You always are like, hey, Felicia. Yes, Felicia. Bye, Felicia. And it reminds me of the time when you just went rogue and got a new phone number, told nobody, texted me randomly, and you were like, hi, Felicia. Like, are we going to the gym at blah, blah, blah? And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, who is this random number? And, you know, we get all these.
And we had plans.
We did have plans, but like, I know your phone number. I have you saved with all your little emojis. You're my best friend. Like, you know, I'm obviously thinking, and I don't know about you, but I get a lot of rogue texts.
No, I've changed my number so many times. I don't get those.
I get like, I know that's so crazy to me, but I get all those like robo texts that are like, hey, Sharon, do you want to like meet up, blah, blah. And they're all fake bullshit spam texts. So I just blew you off. And I'm like, where is this bitch? Like, aren't we supposed to be doing stuff? Like, and I'm thinking about it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, how did that random number know our plans and the time and everything?
You should have Googled 754.
Like, I was dead. And then I literally was like, bitch, how do you come on here and you just say, hi, Felicia? And then I put it together. Who the fuck else says the word Felicia?
I should have been a tell.
I'm dead. Can we talk about like diagnose? Why do you get a new phone number like all the time?
It's like a cleanse, you know? Like, if you were in my past and you don't got my new number, I don't want you in my present.
Right, fair. But you're not acting like, oh, I got a new number now, like at 30, and it's like, oh, the high school people are my past.
Oh, no.
You get one every couple years.
Yeah.
You're like, my past was 2 years ago. You're like, my past was 2022.
100%. Like, after high school, I was like, okay, new number. After college, I was like, okay, new number.
So
and then after each relationship, I'm like, okay, new number.
Yeah, I'm dead. And you did that with your Instagram too. You're like, new IG.
Yep. I kept my old one. So I'm like, I want people to think I still have it, even though I'm not going to use it.
Every time Amanda has like makes a new stepping stone in her life, like something will change, and that's how you know.
Yep. Literally, I'm drastic.
I'm the opposite because I have like anxiety. I have the same phone number that I've had since I was like 12. Like whenever I got my first phone, however old I was, my mom's probably like, you got that shit at 9. Like, I don't know how old I was. I have no idea, to be honest. Whenever I got my phone, my little pink Razor and all those little phones,
you're aging us.
Still have the same phone number.
No.
I have like a panic thinking, what am I going to do if some random person tries to, like, you just never know.
I feel like Google me. You can message me on LinkedIn.
You can. People do that. Yes. Why do people do that? Why do people also try to slide in on LinkedIn? Like, obviously, we're basically both married, so it doesn't matter. But like, why are you, in what world do you think you're going to go on LinkedIn and get a girl's phone number? Does that happen?
Okay. So I'm a recruiter for a living. I don't know if you guys know that. But I was recruiting for this one like financial company I worked for. And the interviews are in person. So I have to like, you know, like you're trying to be a financial advisor. So I'm interviewing them in person. And this one person got back to me, came in. And then after he interviewed, I was like, oh, great. So I'm ready to schedule the next one. He's like, honestly, I just came in to meet you. I was like, what? Way to waste my time. He's like, I'm not even interested in the job. I'm like, unhinged.
That's
this is
like really turned.
Like, was so forward about it too. And I was just like, I have a boyfriend.
What on earth in heaven, hallowed be thy name?
People
like,
have some nerve. It's
that is insane. Well, that's super interesting.
It's unprofessional. Don't do it.
Yeah. Like, what are you actually doing? And also, I love how you get people who are like trying to like get on your good side and like get a job. And they're like, I listen to your podcast.
Oh, yeah. I get it all the time.
Please don't.
I'm like, which episode?
We welcome all our listeners, but like, if like who we are in our jobs is like a whole other. It's so funny. Oh my God.
Yeah,
but yeah, like,
night and day.
Whatever. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm like, thank you so much.
Wow. You're like top of the list, like top pick, like push them through to the final round.
I'm like, looking at you sideways.
I'm dead. Yeah. Like, you're like, you heard me. We like. Meanwhile, we're on here. We're like, fuck it up, sis.
I know. I'm like, my job should pay for coffee.
Yeah, like literally, that's who I am. My boss definitely saw that, by the way.
That was
guys.
great. I was so quick to message you. I'm like,
she was like, oh, because last episode I was talking about how I feel like our companies should expense our Starbucks and coffee. And we clipped that and put it on social media, and she commented real quick.
I thought what she commented was good. She's like, you know what? I'll think about
She
that.
goes, okay, noted. I was like, okay, queen, thanks. I didn't really realize that she was following, and I was like, oh.
Let them know.
Shout out. So that was fun. But yeah, great times. LinkedIn, what a journey.
I have like 100 people pending. And it's just because
Miss Popular.
It's because I'm a recruiter and people want jobs. And I'm just like, honestly, I feel so bad because I can't get back to everyone.
Yeah.
And like it breaks my heart because I want to get back to everyone.
What is your best advice in this economy? Like, how do you stick out to a job poster? Like,
honestly,
what do you look at?
It's so hard because I feel like there's people that do too much to get noticed where I'm just like, I know, but then I'm also like, but did you read the job description? Because I can't work magic,
like, that's creative, but.
Yeah. And I always, honestly, like, even if someone reaches out and I can't help them, I will do what I can to help them.
Yeah.
I'm like, this place is hiring, send me your resume. I'll fix it up. Like, I give really pointers. Nice. Like, today I had someone that was like, I was out on maternity leave, so I have a gap in my resume. She's like, do you think I should, like, include that? I said, honestly, I like seeing when people tell me why they left a place, why they took breaks.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to ask, and it would be a huge question mark.
Yeah.
So I'm always here to help.
Yeah, that's so sweet. I feel like, too, when people message me, because I remember, like, being a young reporter in the field and trying to get into the industry is so not easy. And I would, like, cry. I just remember, like, I was on such a high. It's such a, like, fucked up thing where it's like you're in college. Like, I was at my dream internship working in New York City at iHeartRadio, like the most popular morning show I grew up listening to. I'm living with my best friends. Like, I'm loving life. And then it's like, senior year, then you move out, you're in your parents' house, like next to your little brother's room who's turning the light on and off, like you're trying to find a job, and you're like at this such a high, and then you're like it like messes with you, and you don't know what to do because you always know, like, you go from school, then you go to college, then you like the next step is always there for you. So then when you're out, you're like, wait, what's next? So I always promise myself, like, when I see people who are like driven and like reaching out to me and trying to find something, like, I will say to them, you know what, like, this is what I did, or let me see what I can do for you, or send me your resume. Even if we don't have something, like, I'll keep you in mind because I just remember that that's something that we all went through. We all went through and needed so desperately. And it takes like that one person. And I'm always like trying to be that person for somebody else one day.
No, I think it's good karma too. It's like, I feel like you got to keep it human.
Yeah.
You have to be, I love, like, it's so hard right now. I tell people don't give up. They're like, I've went on so many interviews. People ghost me. I don't hear back, which I think, the least you could do is get back to someone.
Right.
So I feel for everyone. It's so funny because once I like someone, I'm like, I wish I could hire everyone.
Yeah. You're the cutest person to be a
I'm like, I know it didn't work out, but can we be friends?
Yeah. Aw, the sweetest. Like, whoever gets you as a recruiter is the luckiest.
People are
You're
nice,
the best.
for sure.
I have definitely heard you on your calls, and you're just a queen. Like, I'm just unbelievable. So love that.
You're a great journalist. I love reading your stuff, especially when it's articles. I'm like, oh, I get what's going on.
Yeah. I know it's been crazy times in the news, but sometimes you get those like nice ones to break it up. So.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you do some sweet ones and I'm like, I just want to cry.
Yeah, I know.
Any animal one, I'm like,
yes.
You love the animal ones.
I will claim them. I pitch them.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I believe
we're going to talk about what to do with your dogs on July 4th fireworks to keep them safe and not scared. Like, I will pitch those.
It's right up your alley.
Yes. Definitely wrote that one for my company this year, so look out for it. Anyways, should we get to our stories?
Yes.
Okay. So Jess Vestal from Perfect Match, our girly, has finally spoken out, and you could see that she was going through it. Like, just watching her on social media, she was like, I'll talk when I'm ready. She was very down and depressed. She obviously went through that whole ordeal with Harry Jowsey on the show. She followed her heart. She wanted to see the best in this man. And we didn't really like hear much. There was a lot swirling, but we didn't get definitive answers like what happened, how are you feeling, and where she was at now. So she finally went on the Vile Files, which is Nick Vile's podcast. He's from The Bachelor originally, but I think he has a great podcast.
Yeah, he has great people on there.
Yeah, and he has such an art of like how, like, he really knows how to interview someone to make them feel comfortable.
Very.
And always like kind of give them the benefit of the doubt and be on their side and make them feel okay to be vulnerable. So I feel like he's a great place for us to like hear what we want to hear, like really get the stuff out. But like,
and she'll be comfortable.
yeah, totally.
I agree.
So I feel like that was.
If I was interviewing, I'd be like, "Girl, what were you thinking?"
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we would need to.
I love you, but I want to shake.
If we had Jess on, we would definitely need to prep Amanda. But I will say I see myself a lot in Jess and her like wanting to see the best in people or like giving somebody a chance when you know. It was a lot that she went through. So I found it interesting and I loved actually that they didn't lead with like, okay, the boy, let's get to this.
It was about her.
Yeah, it was really about her journey and her childhood in foster care, which she spent like, I think it was like 3 or 4 till 16, till she almost aged out in foster care, which was like so it's crazy to me that it was her developmental years, and she is so well spoken and so like poised, smart, and just she just has such emotional intelligence and strength, and just so well spoken. And to think that was her upbringing is just you would never think.
Yeah, I feel like some kids, you know, that grow up like that, they want better for themselves. You know, they rely on themselves. And she's someone that I could tell. I think she had people by her side for sure that helped her. But I also could tell she's super strong. And that's why she's also probably so emotional too, which I love.
Yeah. And
like,
she's
a sweetheart.
But she can be emotional and still like hold her composure and not react.
She has a heart. Like if I grew up that tough, I think I would be a total see you next Tuesday because I'd be like, I've been through so much. I'm not going to let anyone talk to me, walk to me. Exactly.
Yeah. She's really like, she has such a great balance of like standing up for herself and being strong, but also giving herself grace and giving others grace. And just like, she always takes that high road. And I feel like she's just such an amazing role model. And what she was saying too is that she wants to use her platform to be an advocate for the foster care community. And like, there couldn't be anything I feel like more perfect, and what a great example she is to be that person. And she even said like, it's something that she would consider like doing in her lifetime, fostering. She also like spoke about her journey having Crohn's. Like this girl, I'm like, God, give her a break.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not worried about her. She'll find love. I think.
Yeah,
I'm happy she's not settling because she totally could. But I think she puts her daughter first. I think she does all the right things.
Yes, she's such an amazing mom.
Get off these dating shows though. Yes. Just get off of them. Unless they ask you to be the Bachelorette, don't get on a show.
She actually said she is done with. She said in that interview, done with dating shows, and she would not be the Bachelorette.
Oh,
Nick asked her.
I would have loved that.
You would have.
Yes, because then it's like literally like these men need to prove themselves to you.
Yes,
and you know, like it's not you choose them too, but like I think she would be great on that.
Yeah, and this girl, I love her. Like I feel like she's a 10 out of 10 because she's smart, she's stunning, she's sweet, strong, she's got a great heart. Like, what more could you offer? The Bachelorette wishes they could get Jess Vestal. Okay,
they missed it.
Yes.
Instead, she went to Perfect Match, but if she was on the Bachelorette first.
I know.
She'd be wifey
Jess,
right now.
I wish you told us first so we could let you know not to do that one. But honestly, everything happens for a reason.
You learn.
Yeah. She talked about her journey, which we had heard these rumors before. Basically, she did confirm that like after the show, she had been with Harry. And it's crazy because when she was on Perfect Match, she had filmed Love is Blind, but it had not come out yet. So when she was filming Perfect Match, nobody knew who she was.
Oh, okay.
And I think Netflix also probably knew like she's going to be a breakout star anyways.
100%.
So, and it's just crazy because she's like, I had like not even like 1,000 followers when I went on Perfect Match. And she's like, and during all the breaks, everybody like they get their phones for a period of time in the show. She's like, and everyone's like, it's like zoo animals. Like they're all doing their content. And she's like, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, okay, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah, she's more down to earth.
Yeah. And then, but now she has her platform and like things have changed, but she wasn't that person. And then afterwards, like her show still hadn't come out, but she was with Harry and he did Dancing with the Stars and she's all excited. She loved the show.
Sorry.
What an asshole.
I know. I
That's
hate
the
him.
thing. Like I didn't watch these shows before, so I didn't know about Harry.
Oh, I was so mad. I was like, please, girl, out of everyone.
Yeah.
I don't even like Dom and I prefer him.
Yeah, no, for real. And I didn't know about Harry, but what I did know about Harry was Dancing with the Stars Harry and him and his partner Riley. So when he was really put on my radar, even though I didn't really know him that well, I knew kind of the sphere he was in with reality shows, but he was put on my radar because all that was on my feed that I just kept being fed was Harry and Riley, and are they dating? Oh my gosh, like secret lovers. Like everybody's teasing it and they're playing into it and they're doing their TikToks and they're, you know what I mean? So I felt like now knowing the backstory that you literally have, first of all, a dime. That girl was what, 18, 19 years old on Dancing with the Stars. You have a 12 out of 10 at home. And this little girl that you're on the show with, like, could you imagine you're in a relationship with a guy and that's how he's posting this other person that is, and teasing it, playing into it the whole time?
I blame no one but him. I think both girls were suckered for this a-hole.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I can't believe him. Like, he has no consideration for anyone else's feelings.
And you know what was crazy too? She kept saying things like, you know, they weren't together, so they weren't like they were together, but they weren't publicly together, and she wasn't who she is now. She wasn't known and all of that. So she was like, so Nick was like, did he try to take you to a show? Did he try to take you to practice? She's like, yeah, but like there were always those things, like it's hard, it's this, it's that. And Nick was literally like, no, it's not. He's like, I was on Dancing with the Stars. I was with Natalie and we were not in a public relationship, and she came to practice. The first thing I did was I introduced her to my partner. She was right there. He goes, you know how easy it is to get tickets to the show? You just send a text. You just say, I need this many tickets. And that's it.
I feel bad because I feel like she has such a heart and she doesn't like looking stupid.
Yeah.
And he made her look stupid. Well, I don't think she looks stupid. I think he looks stupid.
Yeah.
But I think for her it was a lot to be so public.
I just don't really want her to feel like she has to feel bad about it.
She shouldn't.
Yeah. Like,
she's not the first fool to be with him.
It's just like, you know, those weird people that go rogue in your comments. Like, that's one thing. But honestly, and Nick kept saying it too, to like almost kind of be like, you know, you learn from your mistakes and this, that. She doesn't have to like sit here and be like, it happens. Every single person has gone back to somebody that they love.
Yes, we all have.
Yes. I strongly feel like even if you can be rational and you know A from B and you know the right thing, like love makes you can't fight that feeling. And until you get to a certain place, like you have to feel it out. You have to get there on your own. Like you can be a super rational, like smart person, but sometimes like your feelings make you a little bit irrational or want to give somebody a chance or want to see the best in them. And not everybody's perfect either. And you're learning each other. So I don't think she should sit here like she makes it like, oh my God, I have to like hide my head. Like I'm beating myself up. I'm getting dragged on the internet. Like, girl, no, like everyone has been there. And you just wanted to see the best in him because you didn't know his past the way other people did. And you were taking it.
You better start Googling men.
At face value. So,
yeah, I mean, listen, she'll be fine. We all been through it. You live and you learn, honestly. And I think her biggest blessing is having her daughter because she's great to get her mind off that stuff.
Yeah. And she said that too. She's like, my peace has been like just having my girl time with her. She's like, I go in my hole and we do our things. Like she has her little dates with her daughter, the besties. She's so precious. So, I mean, I wish that.
I mean, if tables were turned, my ass would be home crying like crazy, you know, like I would turn everything off. Whereas like she has that, you know, family
distraction.
feel. Exactly.
And she's definitely been emotional for sure. But I think, yes, that helps hold her.
Yeah. Like, she's human. She's literally she has such a good heart.
Yeah.
I think beautiful soul. And I think she'll end up with someone amazing.
Totally. And we can't wait to see
I can't wait.
We'll be cheering.
Can't wait to see you on The Bachelorette.
Yeah. Manifesting.
That I would watch. You know how many views that would get?
Yes.
Hello, ABC?
I know, but they need to pay her.
Yes.
This just happened with the other Bachelorette. They wanted a girl that was a breakout star, Maria Gorgas, to be Bachelorette.
That's your girl, right?
Yes. Yeah. Love that Greek queen. And she actually was like halfway in the door. Like she had accepted it. And I think there were rumors too that like certain terms didn't work for her and things like that. And, you know, when you have top talent like that and everybody wants them, like if you look at her page, everyone's like tagging ABC. Everybody was like a movement. Like it's almost like unfathomable that she wasn't the Bachelorette. And then she wasn't the Bachelorette. And they announced it's not even like, oh, they picked the runner-up or one of the other breakout stars. Like they picked the most random girl and people were not happy.
But why didn't she? So she didn't want to do it ultimately.
She ended up backing out at the end.
Because
I feel like if you gave the right circumstances, like it would happen. And I think also a big thing for her, I had heard, and I don't know if it's true, was like that they take your phone all those weeks. Like you don't have, like Jess would never do that and not be able to speak to her daughter. But for people like that, you have to make accommodations. Like
I mean, they've all done it. I've seen guys like lose it because they're single fathers. There's one guy that was on it previously, and he wasn't able to be around his kid, and that was hard for him.
Yeah.
And then he ended up being one of the last two.
And you can't use your phone.
Yeah.
That's
so
a little
lot. Yeah.
That's a little crazy. Like you got to make, like everybody here is human. Like, you know, so you got to do some things like,
I mean, she's another one that will be fine.
Totally. So, yeah, I mean, she'll be more than fine.
Yeah.
So, our next story is kind of a sad one.
Our childhood.
Yes, our childhood, R.I.P. Shannen Doherty passed away to breast cancer.
Oh, so sad.
Our girl from Charmed. I am just so sad for her, too, because she started to be really hopeful at the end. You could feel like she just really didn't want to go, like she wanted to fight. And it was just so sad to see. She was 53 years old. And
very young.
Yeah, she passed away over the weekend. And I mean, Charmed, I grew up on Charmed.
I just started rewatching it just for her.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge thing. I think everyone's going to watch it now.
Yes. Yeah. I loved Charmed. I always wanted to be Piper.
Oh,
yes,
yeah?
That was the girl that for me. I was like, she's so pretty and perfect, and I want to be Piper.
I liked all of them, honestly.
Yeah. Do you know, behind the scenes, too, like, things weren't always the best with the cast?
I've heard that. They didn't all get along.
Apparently, like, Alyssa Milano, too, was just like, you got to get rid of one of them. And that's when they brought in Rose McGowan to take over. Yeah. So it was like a whole thing. And there was tension between Alyssa Milano specifically and Shannen Doherty, but actually Alyssa Milano did speak out following her castmate's death, and she was like, look, we weren't always the closest, but like I have immense respect for her. It was so talented, and like she said really nice things, and she said like the world is less without her. So I thought that was really sweet and big of her to like still speak out despite everything.
Of course, yeah, that's the right thing to do regardless.
And of course my girl Piper did like a whole IG post for her, and I was like, I could cry right now.
I know.
One thing I do want to say too about breast cancer, which I found super interesting. I had to write a story about it. Olivia Munn has breast cancer, and she went through such a journey, but it was so interesting. And I just feel like for our girlies listening, she had gotten tested for the BRCA gene, and it was negative. And she was like, oh, I'm good, whatever. Yep. Her gynecologist saved her life because she was just getting her annual, and her gyno was like, have you ever taken your breast cancer like risk score, like lifetime risk score? There's like an assessment you can do online. It takes 2 seconds. Okay. So this is something I think every woman should do. And find out your lifetime breast cancer risk score. She was like, oh, I've never done that. I never heard of it. She's like, it's like a quiz you take online. You just answer some questions.
Like family related history?
Yeah, it just asks you. I did it since learning from Olivia.
Yeah.
And it just asks you kind of about women on both sides. It asks you about stuff in your life, if you've had kids, like just all different types of questions about you, your health, and in your family. And then it gives you like a score. And I think anything above like something in the 20% is like an alarm goes off. Oh, wow. Like anything under 10, which was where I was. I think I was like at a 7 or something.
Okay.
She was like near 40%. I think she had like 37% chance, which was they were like, whoa. Because literally, she was like, no, I tested for BRCA, blah, blah. She's like, let's just do your risk assessment. Like, just
you
having
think it's gonna be innocent
time, like, at the gyno. And she was like, girl. So they sent her, and she ended up they did like MRIs and these certain scans, and they found in both, which is not normal. Usually it's one. She had a double mastectomy. Like, she went through some shit. She ended up going through early menopause because of it. And it's so sad.
Very sad.
But life-saving. Because she was able to catch it. This would have been so progressive, it would have killed her.
Yeah. My thing too is people that don't do annual checkups don't like it's why it's like it's not worth the risk. Like same thing with putting on sunblock. Like, it could decrease chances of like, why not just do it? You know, I just like when people tell me they haven't been to the doctor in like years, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's selfish.
Yeah.
Like it's just.
It's really so sad. And it's like, even like with my parents, I'm like, just go to like, do your annuals. Like that's my gift. Like just do it for sure. But I know you're so very good with your appointments.
I have a scratch. I'm like,
I know.
Doctor,
You're like, I'm dying.
I know.
Literally. You'll like get a mark of pen on you and you're like, what is this birthmark?
I had an allergic reaction. I don't know if it was something I ate, my makeup, and my face was like all like cratery. And then my chest started and I was like, it had to be something I ate. And then it didn't go away. And then I was like, I'm dying. I'm accepting it.
I have a disease. The amount of times I have to like catch you from thinking that you're dying.
Or I go down a rabbit hole.
It's so funny.
If I get blood work done, I'm
Because
like, what
it's
does the red mean?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, oh, high cholesterol. Stop
I'm
eating
like-
Chick-fil-A.
Stop.
Chick-fil-A sounds good for dinner.
Oh my God, I'm dead. That's not even the worst, I feel like. You know, if you get the grilled chicken. I always get the grilled nuggets.
See, that's the ways of getting Chick-fil-A. You got to get the spicy chicken sandwich. Like, why order?
I never had it.
Why or what?
But
Girl.
I'm also
But don't do it. It's life changing. You get it all the time. Don't
I'm
do
also
it.
not a spicy. Like, I'm spicy, okay.
Well,
But I
crispy
don't like
chicken.
spicy food.
Of course, the crispy chicken is going to be better than a grilled chicken.
Yeah, but sometimes it feels too greasy. Like, I'll like a grilled chicken
Greasier the
sandwich.
better.
But if you're dieting and you get the grilled nuggets and the kale side, it's actually bomb.com. It's so good. I like crave it sometimes. I'm serious. It's really good. It'll surprise you.
I need new friends.
And then I saw a girl. I saw like this trending thing where they're like, "Oh my God, you gotta get the grilled nuggets on the kale side at Chick-fil-A." And I was like, "You fucking bitch! I've been doing that. You can't be doing that and make it a trend." I thought
One
of it
time
first.
I ordered grilled nuggets because I was on this fitness journey. I was
They're so good.
mad they didn't have Chick-fil-A sauce. I'm like, I gotta eat these shit like without any sauce.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, I was so mad.
No, but I eat them with the sauce. Okay, so you dip them in the sauce.
But it's not the same.
It's good
It's
though.
not the same. And then grilled, like you don't even get the crispy chicken nuggets.
All right.
Don't you're breaking my heart. Let's
I'm
move on.
Sorry, we can definitely move on from this. We actually want to like try something different. We got some submissions from Am I the Asshole on Reddit, and we wanted to see like kind of gauge each other's opinions and like see what we think of these. So
Yes.
let's read some of these submissions. Do you want to do the first one? I'll pass it to you.
Okay. My phone is recording live. That's why I
Yeah,
don't
we're
have my-
live on TikTok.
I know.
So hold on. Can we get a musical
Make sure to follow us.
interlude?
Make sure to follow us
Yes.
on TikTok. We record usually on Mondays. You can follow us and we'll be live and you guys get to see everything when we mess up, when we're getting ready,
Yes,
everything.
When we take 30 years to get it together to fix the hair. And then when I see it on camera, it's still not in the right spot that I put it in. Okay, so here you go.
Okay. I want to summarize it though because it's a little long. Okay.
No, you can read it.
Would I be the asshole for divorcing my wife because she cheated at her bachelorette party?
Ooh.
And righties, I and my wife, we're both 35, married for 8 years. Happy relationship, happy life, stable finances, a good house, both working. However, this changed for me last year when I learned she cheated on me at her bachelorette party with a dancer.
What?
A stripper, right? Mm-hmm. I learned it because I found some questionable videos on our old drive.
A male stripper or a female?
I
It doesn't
assume
say.
male.
Okay, probably.
But let's see. Maybe he'll say it.
No, probably because it's a female bachelorette.
I feel like I don't know if he'd be as a. I mean,
yeah,
cheating's
that's
cheating,
why I
but
asked.
good
Yeah,
point, good
so
point.
okay, keep
she
going.
didn't deny it or dismissed it. He said on the contrary, she was extremely apologetic and told me she'll do her best to make it up to me. I have no reason to think she's cheated on me before this instance, but my trust is so broken, I can't build it again. We're on a marriage counseling for 7 months now. I do not think it's working. I cannot see the relationship in the same light. I know we had a great life. We were planning to conceive this year and everything is stable, but I cannot change my emotions. I started considering divorce.
Oh my gosh. Did
So-
she physically cheat? Or is it just that she was inappropriate?
So she did cheat. He said she didn't deny it. You know, everything came to light.
Oh, wow.
And that she'll try and make it up. But my thing is,
No.
she got caught.
Yeah.
Like, why not tell him
she
right?
would not have told you.
Yeah, you literally found out. So I don't think he's the asshole. And I agree, you can't look at her the same. She's hiding this from you. Maybe if she told you right after, you guys could have worked through it.
Yeah.
But the hiding it.
If you're sitting here and we're like, it's honestly, it's so, you're not at all the asshole. And it's in your core to decide how you feel.
Yes.
If you are in a place where you're like, okay, we're married now, we're having kids, like this was before and it was something that's in the past and we're in such an amazing place and I feel okay and I can work past this and like I feel comfortable and I trust her that this will never happen again, that's on you to decide.
Yes.
But if you're sitting here and you're like, I can't even look at this woman the same same, and you're constantly burying your feelings, and you're feeling mistrust, and you're feeling uncomfortable, and you're going to bed with a pit, like that's super unhealthy. And I don't blame you at all. Like I would be sick. And you, again, like you said, this is something he stumbled across. It's not something that
What
she
else
admitted.
is she hiding?
And if she could hide it so well, and Bachelorette, think about how sick this is. Bachelorette is right by your fucking wedding.
You should be excited. I would be so excited. Like, oh my God, I'm spending the rest of my life with someone.
Best
Like,
time. You're
the last thing I'm thinking about. Yeah, no.
At all. Like, the fact that she, did she need to get something out of her system? Like, red flag. Like, what is she doing that she's sleeping? And it's not even it's like a random ass dancer. Like, that's crazy.
I wouldn't forgive someone for cheating, period.
Yes.
I don't care. Like, I feel like he said, is tainted. I can't look at you in the same light. I will never trust you. I don't want to have to live with that. Like, I want peace.
You know who else he shouldn't trust? The friends.
Yo, friends are...
What are they?
Why
just
wasn't
watching,
your sister
clapping
telling you?
it out?
Did you have a sister? Was your sister there?
Everyone's smiling at you like, oh, go get the woman you deserve.
I would be sick if no offense, but like if I had friends and we were at a friend's bachelorette party and she was cheating on her man, I'm sending an anonymous note. No, I'm kidding.
we'll have
unless I don't like
Snooki
him.
Write the note.
If I don't like him, I'm gonna be like,
Ryan was at the club with 2 bitches.
I feel like too, like I mean, I don't want to judge anyone's life.
Yeah.
Like I feel like even I would look at my friend a little different, but I'm also
100%.
like, she's my girl. Like
No.
But I would push her to make a right decision and tell him.
One of my friends is like openly cheating, I don't want to be associated with a person like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I can't do that.
Leave that person.
I don't
obviously want to be with them.
That's to me, it's super toxic. I look at somebody differently immediately.
Yes.
And it's like, if that's how you are to the person, you love, like, how are you going to be to like a friend?
Yeah.
Like,
and no one's perfect. Like, if you did it,
but
if you told them that's something, I'm like, that was between you two. I'm happy you were honest. You
totally.
have, so it's,
that's different. And you're like, damn, I fucked up. And you like, I'll be there for my friends through whatever they need to work through. But if it's like this blatant, like just disrespect, like dirty, toxic bullshit, like I'm looking at you different.
She ruined everything too. It sounds like he said they're happy, you know, she probably effed up, but I think the right thing would have been to tell him.
Yeah. And it's like
trying to conceive too.
I think it's maybe a blessing that you didn't have a kid yet.
Yes. Yep.
And you found out before.
Because then he'll be resentful and like he feel like he can't leave. But I think he needs to jump ship and, you know, find someone he can trust.
Totally.
Let me know what you guys think.
Yes. Let us know. Comment below. And then I'll do one more. Okay. Am I the asshole for using my sister's photos on dating sites? I have a twin sister and we are, all caps, identical. To the point our own family still gets confused on who is who. We look exactly the same in every aspect except one. My sister is more photogenic. Despite having the exact same face, she just makes it work more. She knows how to pose and work a camera, whereas I do not, and I hate most pictures taken of me. That being said, when I signed up to online dating platforms, I wanted to show myself in the best possible light, looking my best. So I used my sister's photos since it's essentially me but photographed and posed well. I have achieved several dates from this and nobody has ever mentioned any difference between myself in person and my sister in the photos. However, my friends think I am an asshole for catfishing men. I don't see the problem since it's exactly what I look like, just better photos. So am I the asshole? Edit to clarify, my sister knows and isn't bothered. She just thinks it's funny, even sends me new pics to use.
Nude?
New.
Oh, I was like, what?
No. New.
I was like, wait. Like, okay, so here's my thing. If her friends think she's catfishing, she may not look as much as like her sister like she thinks. You know,
I think
I don't know. I think it's wrong just because it's not genuinely you. When you do have a spouse and you guys take photos, it's not going to be, you know, if she has, I just think you need to be yourself, use yours.
To be honest, like, yes, okay, use yours. I don't think you're the biggest asshole for doing it.
Yeah, you're a little asshole.
Because, you're a little bit of an asshole. Like, here's the thing. Your sister knows, she doesn't care. You look identical. If the friends are saying you're catfishing, I think they're being haters and bitchy. If you genuinely...
I want to see... Did she post a photo?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
If you genuinely look just like her to the point where family members are getting you guys confused, I think that there are people out there using filters using AI generated photos of
True.
them, and they literally do not look like their
themselves.
photos.
Yeah.
So if it's literally like no one has even mentioned it, they all think it's you and you look exactly the same, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Like the biggest thing is like the person whose photos you're using is fine with it. And if you guys are identical fucking twins, then I don't really see it as harmful. It's just like touching up a photo. You know what I mean? In my eyes.
I don't know. I feel like it's not you. My mom's a twin.
Get it.
So like when I was younger, I would confuse my mom and aunt all the time. But I can tell them apart.
But are they identical?
Identical. Identical. I have a lot of identical twins in my family.
OMG.
And I feel like I see the family thing is weird for me because I feel like because I know them, even younger, like I can tell them apart. Like their smiles are different.
Right.
Like my mom's always smiling.
Yeah.
Whereas my aunt doesn't smile much.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's like maybe she doesn't smile in photos and her sister's like cheesing and it's not really her personality.
And if you have a totally different aesthetic and your clothes and this and that, like that would make it weird.
Yes.
But I think it's like if it's like a no harm done if it's what she's saying and it's like we look so much alike, we're like the same person, no one can tell. Mm-hmm. And it's not a big deal. Like, to be honest, like filters do worse than what I think
she's a little asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like big. But I also think like, what if her sister's dating someone? I wouldn't want my freaking boyfriend's brother using my man's photos on dating apps.
That is actually funny. That's a great way to put it. You know what's funny? My cousin Athena and I, we look a lot alike.
Twins.
And like when we go certain places, like when we were in Greece, like seeing people and whatever, like if I went into a store and someone's talking to me and then she went into the store, like they would pick up the conversation and like think they were talking to the same person. So we were like all confused. And then they saw us together and they were like, oh, there's two Americans here. Like it's so funny. So one time what I actually did was on Snapchat, I had her send a selfie to a bunch. We just sent it like down my list to a bunch of friends and we wrote like a silly caption like, oh, so tired or whatever. Just a selfie.
See if anyone,
and just sent it from my account because they're not really thinking too much into it. Like, oh, Alina sent me a snap. So some of my real friends were like, is that Athena? But others were just responding.
They were like, oh, you look great looking tired. You guys do look alike.
That's fun. I mean, it's just a little fun.
Especially, I mean, I know your faces now, but like if you both were standing behind, like, because you have the long, beautiful hair, I wouldn't know who to tap.
So
I'd be like, let me see your nails.
Oh, yes. Mine are definitely more ratchet than hers. She's got the more classy nails for sure. And I always say to her, too, when people tell us, like, I know we look alike, but I'm always just like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
I always got to tell her. But yeah.
You both are beautiful.
Oh, thanks. So are you. Love you. Should we get into our book?
Yes. Oh, so much.
My goodness.
My twin theory was wrong.
Our thriller book.
That's how we feel about Paul.
This is it. So we read Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter. This week we read chapters 12 through 18 and OMG, it's getting saucy.
Bro, when he punched her in the face. And then she wakes up and she's like, he put my shoes, he charged the phone.
Yeah.
I was like, he charged the car. I was like, yo, this man is unhinged.
He is unhinged. He is so well prepared. He has done this and he could do it in his sleep. And it's insane. Before I started this set of chapters, I was like not convinced. I started to really cling to your twin theory, which could still be a thing. But I was like, maybe he's just trying to prevent shit, like, or whatever from his dad or correct things or maybe help solve something. I even was thinking to myself, is Lydia suspicious? Because you know what I thought? Mm-hmm. I guess I was rooting so much for Julia being alive that when Lydia went to see the end of the tape, we weren't in the room with her. We were outside with Claire.
Heard her crying. Yeah.
So I was like, hold on a minute. We never actually saw Julia die. Is she dead? You know? And I'm like, is Lydia covering something up that she saw? Is she in? I don't know. Like, I didn't know. Clearly no, but I guess Julia really is dead.
She's dead, yeah. I think the way she screamed towards the end of the video was her being murdered. That's what I got from that.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. But then I was like, are they trying to be like, okay, well, we never saw it. And then
if she was alive, that would have been a great twist.
When she went to see it, Paul punched her. So,
yeah.
Like, we'll take out the tape, I guess. But still, like, she could have seen it. So I was hoping.
That's, yeah. But then when you kept reading, you were like,
yeah,
no,
I was like, no,
that.
Lydia's way too tortured to be in on this.
So one thing I didn't mention when we first started reading that, of course, I texted you after we recorded. Yes. I'm like, fuck. So I didn't think the dad killed himself. So that was one thing that.
Major.
Yeah. So I was like, like the more we kept hearing him talk to Julia in those letters, I was like, he sounds like he does not want to give up. And I don't think he would be selfish enough to leave those other 2 girls behind.
Yeah.
And he loved the mother. I could tell. I was like, if he ever finds out what happens to Julia, I think he could move on. I think he could come back to his family. He could be back with his wife. So sad to.
It was so sad to learn. And at first, like, I wasn't getting it because she's now, like, he has taken Lydia in the trunk. She's in the house. She's being watched by surveillance, like, at every turn. And then the sheriff comes to the door, Huckabee, and starts talking to her and, like, unfolding things with her. And then I was like, wow, he killed himself. Like, then it made sense to me to be like, oh my gosh, he killed himself because he saw the footage. But then when we, like, I to me that put me, like, it was so sad, but it made sense and it closed the question there for me. Like, why would he just kill himself? But then when we actually learned, like, he didn't. He was killed. I was devastated. Well, even the note, because they said the note was shaky handwriting.
And he had a stroke, which made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he was visiting that guy in prison, that kind of helped him figure everything out. Once I learned that it was Paul's dad, I was like, he wants to take them down. There's no way this man's killing himself. He wants justice for his kid. Now that he knows his dad was the one that did it, like, was the peeping Tom, took her. Yes. Yeah. And then he always thought the way he treated Claire was, like, all over her, a hand on her. I think he's a psychopath. Yeah. I think he loves that he control, like, Claire was alone. She had no one. She attached to him. He was there for her. Yeah. I think he's so sick. He cares about her. Yeah. But he also, like, loves raping and killing.
I know, it's such a weird thing that he's still in this sick world, cares about her, and is, like, keeping her alive. And, like, look what you did to everybody in her family. And you know what was weird to me too is, like, the fact that the sheriff was so sure, like, yeah, your mom knows. That's a little weird to me. Like, I'm questioning Helen.
I get it, because I feel like, first off, Lydia was on drugs. She thought that could really push her over, knowing what really happened. Claire just married this man. She's living her life. I think it was wrong for her not to tell them, because now look what's unfolding. That could have dodged a lot of things. Right. But I understand, too. Like, she just wanted to close the book, move on. And it's terrible what happened to her. Yeah. Terrible. But why she wouldn't, they did think they found the person that did it, which we ultimately find out.
And even Claire knows, like, she saw the raw and edited footage. She sees what Paul did to conceal that it was him. He hid his mole. He changed his skin tone, everything. Even when it was, the father who had done things and they pinned it on somebody else, it turned out that man was a black man. And this is not a black man that you see in the footage. Like, none of this makes sense. I'm just still trying to see, like, how much farther out this goes.
Yeah. I want to know how the cops are involved. Yeah. Now we know his uncle.
They pulled her over on her way to her sister. Yeah. Like,
and his uncle, like, I'm wondering if his uncle's the same sickness as the dad and the brother. Because that would, his nephew and brother. But because I feel like he's protecting him too much. He must know he's a sicko. He must have known his brother was a sicko. Yeah. He must be a sicko. I think they're a family of sickos. Yeah. I think the mom probably was like, that girl wants some dinner. Are you done with her yet? Yeah. I think they're all messed up.
Like, what do you think about Adam?
I think Adam is just a pawn. I don't think he knows anything.
Yeah.
I think they were really good friends, but because think about it. If Paul was this crazy, he would not be sleeping with Claire. Yeah. That man will freaking kill him. Yeah. But Paul didn't care. He knew she was a ho-ho.
And that story too with, like, the witness protection, and, like, they had this whole, like, front and explanation for all of this. And I mean, I feel like I kind of maybe believe that, the cops helped him, like, execute this, but they're lying about why.
Yes. Remember when she left the station and she was like, you're not asking the right questions. Yes. And he's like, well, what is it? And he's like, Paul doesn't need you.
Yeah, she found a loophole.
Yeah. He's like, he doesn't need you. Like, if he was going into witness protection, he would need you. He wouldn't have hit you and ran.
Right.
So clearly, I'm thinking one of the upper ups is, like, involved.
Who's behind that mirrored wall? That's the other question.
I think his uncle. I think, because remember, Paul was like, oh, how was the police station? Who else would tell him? His uncle? Yeah. Unless he has a cop on of course.
Yeah. I know. It's so crazy. And what's happening to Lydia is fathomable.
Sick.
The piss, the
Karen,
waterboarding.
Karen, I love your
was
mind.
Oh my God. I know. Amanda texted me and she's like, I love her. Sick
mind.
mind. I was dying.
With the whole like Percocets. And I was just like,
that was sad too because she was holding on to hope because
Yeah.
she was like, I'm not going to be. That was like one of the last things that happened where she was like, she would deny the Percocet. In a moment like that, like, come on, do it for yourself. And then at the end, like she gave in. It's like she's giving up on her life. And she just says, yeah, give it to me.
and
then
now
he
I
goes,
want to know.
You got to earn it.
Yeah. So he's going to board her again.
Oh,
It sounds like.
I'm
But-
disgusted by this whole thing.
Bro, if no one kills this man, I'm gonna be so upset. Like Karen, someone needs to kill him, and it should be Claire. I
I'm
think
also
Claire should
annoyed by, yeah, she needs to. I'm also annoyed by her, like, and I get it, but I guess she's trying so hard to match the crime to the husband she's known all these times because she's like, why am I getting sad? Why am I this? Why am
honestly,
I
he's just think about it. A lot of
that?
psychopaths,
Mental fucking.
they have families,
Yeah.
and their wives had no idea.
Yeah.
I just read another book where this woman's husband was like raping, he was killing people, like
Yeah.
killing young girls. She had no idea. He had 2 daughters with her,
Yeah.
and she ended up like at the end, like being the ones like turn him in.
Yeah.
But not to give. Oh God, I just gave
Nobody
that book
knows
away.
who the book.
Yeah, I
the
didn't say
book-
the
what
name of
book
it.
is.
But it was just so. It's crazy to me how you can live with a monster. I do believe women just see the best and
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
And I think Claire was just. But Claire needs to get her shit together and fucking.
It killed me too with the whole Julia thing about how he was saying like she lived for like 11 days being tortured, like pinned to a wall. She was in a barn. He was like, you guys were all so close, so close. That would send me to my grave.
And then he's
thinking,
talking
like,
about
we're
Dee,
so close.
how she's next.
He was like, I can't wait to taste her.
Oh my God.
The strength within me to break through
Ugh.
everything.
And poor
Come
Rick
on,
thinking
get
she's on
up.
drugs again.
I know. Well, I think he's gonna come in and like save the day at the end. Like, I hope he figures out that something's up,
I hope he
and I
doesn't
hope
get
he's
involved.
good. I hope he's on the good side.
Yeah.
But he was saying, like Paul was saying, like he's had this orchestrated for so long. Like he was like, I stayed at Auburn for you. Like I wanted to be with Julia's sister. Like the whole thing was sick. It's like so calculated from so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then also him saying like, don't you want to know where Julia's body is? Don't you want to know? And how he
visits
was like,
it. Oh.
Yes, that's what's crazy. Like she's not even buried. She's probably still like pinned up on this wall, hanging somewhere, and like he's like loving teasing this for her. Like that makes me sick. And the fact that he was like, I almost told your dad because what's it gonna do? Like he's about to die anyways, and like maybe it'll just like give him that like closure. Like he
I
got
want
the
to
answer,
shake the dad too.
and he didn't tell him.
Ugh.
Well, the dad was
why would he-
drugged.
But that's what I'm saying. I think your dad killed my daughter, and I think it's weird that you're dating my other daughter. So there's no way in hell I'm drinking anything you give me.
Quite literally.
No way.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad for
Yeah.
him. I just, he tried so hard. He loved so hard, but
and he's going like to people for help, and they're purposely leading him in the wrong direction. It took a prisoner, that guy Ben, to like tell him to.
Lydia
give him
better sue
clue.
that
man,
whole
Ben,
department.
I know. She better do a lot more than that.
Yep.
Oh,
He
my
kept
God.
the journals, the mom's
Yes.
journals. Oh no, the mom was writing to Lydia, and
That
she
was
never.
so sad because she's like, my mom didn't want me. She didn't care. She didn't reach
tried.
out. Yeah, she's been trying this whole time.
The mom's an idiot too. She
and
thought
then he
Paul
talked
was
about
like,
how she would cry at home and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, you like changed the whole narrative on their story. You created all this divide. Like even why the sisters are not close is his fault.
It's all his fault.
It's really sick.
Honestly, I'm so scared. I mean, not to be like a sick mind, but
Yeah.
I feel like a sister has to die.
No.
I don't like
knew
happy
you were gonna
endings. I
say
know I don't
that.
like happy endings.
Please don't.
But I don't want it to be Lydia just because she does have
Yeah.
a kid. And obviously Claire was dumb, but I don't think she deserves to die either.
Yeah.
Yo, Granny's gonna come in. She gonna be pissed.
She gonna bust down the door.
Yeah, he's mean to her, but she's feisty. She'll love feisty things.
Yeah. I
I'm
guess
so excited.
we'll see what happens. I cannot believe this section of chapters. For next week, we'll have all our answers because we will be reading chapter 19 until the end of the book. And we will give our ratings and we'll see if like some of the things that we predict. Because one big theory that Amanda has is maybe that Paul has a twin.
I don't think that anymore.
You don't?
No, I think because now
It's
how
too
he's
far
treating
in. Yeah.
Lydia, I think that.
And
I think
you don't
he's
think that that's the
psychopath.
twin. That's Paul.
That's Paul. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's just like. You ever watch Split? I think he just changes up
yeah,
who he
like
is.
schizo.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see next week what happens. We'll get all of our answers. Read chapter 19 till the end. Do you want to plug our socials, honey?
If you're watching on Shoots and
louder.
If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. We're also on TikTok and Instagram at Book Please Podcast. We made a Facebook group.
Yes.
It's Book Please -Booklets. And we go live every Monday on TikTok, so you can watch us record. Thanks, guys.
Bye.